How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a great weekend. I am having a great time waiting for the big time to arrive. But while we're waiting for that, just remember that there are other tokens that are experiencing volatility, specifically Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has a lot of volatility anticipated for many reasons. And whatever Bitcoin does, XRP does. So while we're like in the final moments, crossing the last bridge before we get to our pot of gold, or pot of diamond, or whatever your preferred treasure is, there are still some pitfalls that are predicted in the near future, like the imminent future. Now, as you can see from the fear and greed index, we've suddenly gone to greed at the moment. We're on 61, which is just into greed, so we've only just left neutral. But remember, just last week we were, mid-fear. So we were approaching extreme fear just last week. And then, sentiments have swapped within a couple of days, right? And just as quickly as the sentiment has gone up, the sentiment can swing back the other way. And this is related to many things. Some black swan event might occur. Remember, WW3 is pretty much ongoing at the moment, or it could turn into it at any time. So we might experience some of those negative forces on the market that might, dip Bitcoin. Also, we've been waiting for a bit of a washout in Bitcoin, which still hasn't occurred. A lot of the bullish sentiments that the analysts, you can call them, expressed just a couple of weeks ago have sort of turned bearish. I don't think if you remember that I made a video in the beginning of October that I think that we're still going to see a proper correction, like a proper dip, which may happen in October, and that I've been gathering some powder, some dry powder to participate in this dip, because I believe that after that dip, then we are going to be truly off to the races for the proper bull run of this cycle. So it may be the last chance that we get to grab some cheap coins going into this bull run. And of course, I've got my eyes firmly on XRP to grab even more. But the only thing is, other things might happen that cause XRP to decouple from that downward turn. So even though it may affect XRP, it might not affect XRP as much as it does to the other altcoins. So if XRP doesn't dip as much, and say, I don't know, Solana or any of the other coins dip significantly, 20, 30, 40%, then I'll be back in the truck and, basically buying some of those. Not financial advice, do your own research. But it's just important to understand that whatever dip that we see imminently, we're talking within a week or so, is not XRP specific and it's not XRP related. And there's no need to buy in to the FUD and people trying to tell you, oh no, that's it, the bull run is over, blah, blah, blah. The bull run hasn't started yet, okay? Especially not old season. I'll show you an article that kind of expresses this, right? Crypto market sentiment not as bullish as echo chamber suggests, trader says. A crypto trader warned that the industry can be an echo chamber, adding that there's still a way to go before sentiment can be deemed bullish. So this person thinks that we're still sort of bearish in our outlook, right? Bitcoin's BTC blah 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 price nearing 70,000 has sparked a shift in market sentiment with a surge in bullish posts among traders. However, one trader warns that the market isn't quite there yet and still has a way to go before it can truly be bullish. I don't think the sentiment is that bullish currently, independent crypto analyst Matthew Hayland opined in an October 18 X post. Crypto market is an echo chamber. He suggested that those in the crypto industry can have a volatile mindset towards sentiment. However, a shift in the market sentiment also requires an increase in the retail investor interest. This space is an echo chamber, so it's easy to be convinced sentiment is one way or the other. In reality, the outside world has given a fraction of the attention they gave to crypto in 2021, Halen added. So basically he's saying that, where we are is not where we were in 2021. I kind of tend to agree with him. I think the FOMO crowd hasn't truly arrived yet like it was in 2021. If you were around in 2021, you remember how absolutely insane the FOMO was. Obviously, the difference between now and 2021 is that we were all sort of locked in our bedrooms and whatever, and living rooms, and we had nothing else to stare at. Some people were Netflixing and chilling. Some of us had our eyes glued to charts and, to Bitcoin news. And when Elon Musk basically tweeted about anything, whether it was accepting Bitcoin for Tesla, or he was doing something with Doge, I mean, the FOMO just exploded. The green candles, got candles happened immediately, right? Now people are at work, people have other things to worry about. Everyone's broke. The situation is a little bit different, right? So that might be affecting the FOMO's concentration. But what this person doesn't take into consideration is that this cycle is a little bit different from life cycle. Apart from the fact that we're all not locked down anymore, we're doing our own things. People are outside in the park instead of staring at computers at home. We also have institutions, banks, governments that are now also FOMOing in with us. We also have the status of Bitcoin and crypto now is completely different from the sentiment last cycle, when all these big banks and organizations were actually out campaigning against it, telling us it was a scam. The CEOs coming out saying, "Oh, what does Bitcoin do?" They were, they didn't understand it or whatever. But now a lot of them have a better understanding. They have a plan, and in fact, they're now contributing to the FUD rather than to the positive sentiment. So even though they're buying, they're telling us not to buy or creating FUD to try and prevent us from buying. Okay, so Hayland argued that the total number of current market participants are approximately 10% of what they were in 2021 and around 50% of what it was earlier in 2024. This is actually a huge bullish thing. I know that might sound a bit negative, but if you think we're getting this much movement, we're close to a Bitcoin all-time high with this low interest, when the interest, the public interest really arrives and the FOMO arrives, we are going to take off like a rocket heading for outer space, right? Meanwhile, the crypto fear and greed index, which represents current emotion and sentiments towards Bitcoin and the broader crypto market, signals bullish territory for crypto among market participants. The index is reading a greed score of 72 and up 23 points from its neutral score on October 12. Yeah, that's what I talked about in the beginning of this video, right? The figures are a little bit different because this article is written on a different day. Bullish post from crypto traders, and then it goes to give some market analysis, right? So basically my point is, right, if you look at the chart, man, this is the 7-day chart of Bitcoin. You can see that it's done really, really well in the last 7 days, pumping nearly 10%. We're kind of due for some consolidation period anyway, and if we're to see anything at all that is remotely bearish, we're going to see a dip in Bitcoin, and people might sell. Whales might take advantage to try and wash out all of the longs, because again, as we're creeping into greed, we're seeing a lot of leverage longs being put in the system. There are 100x longs on the system at the moment that the whales would just be licking their lips to have liquidated. And when they liquidate those, you know what usually happens? It dips the price, stop losses get activated, dips the price even further, more liquidations, rinse and repeat until we hit a scam wick, probably in the 50s, and then hopefully back up again. But just remember, when the activity starts, it's not related to XRP in any way, shape, or form. Keep your dime on hand. Not financial advice, do your own research, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.